Hey everybody, Key here, and I'm coming to you guys with another video. And this video is all about these babies right here. They are called the NYX Conceal Correct Contour Palettes, okay? So I purchased all three of the palettes, and I also have two of the MAC concealer palettes, and I'm gonna swatch them a little bit to show you like the difference. So in the demo, you guys, I used MAC on one side of my face, and I used NYX on the other side of my face. And tell me, can you see a difference? Not really, right? And before we get into the hand swatches of these concealer palettes, I totally wanted to give you guys just a little bit of verbiage on how I feel about these palettes. Now, as I told you guys in the last haul video I did, I have only been using these NYX Conceal Correct Contour palettes ever since I purchased them, and I think that has been about a whole week. So every time I've done my makeup, every time I've done my brows, I've used these palettes. And so I decided to not only just talk to you about these palettes, but I felt like I can show you better than I can tell you. So that's why I did the demo. So as you guys saw in the demo, I used the MAC concealer palette to sculpt my eyebrows, and I used the NYX concealer palette to sculpt the eyebrow on this side, and then I used the NYX concealer palette to highlight, and then I used the MAC concealer palette to highlight. Now, one thing I will say, I tried to get as close as I could and still be in focus. So I wanted you guys to see that the MAC concealer palettes are definitely a little bit more creamy, while as the NYX concealer palettes seem to be a little more like firm, almost like a wax type feel. But I'm not saying it's wax at all. That's just the only way that I know how to describe it, because it's kind of like, it has like a thick consistency. Maybe I should say that. It has like a thick consistency. And just to be quite honest with you guys, I think that I honestly prefer the NYX contour palettes. I really do, because I like, especially around my eyebrows, I like for that thickness to be there. So it's very pigmented, it's very opaque, and I really love that. Now, will I stop buying the MAC concealer palettes? I am not gonna tell you that lie, because I'm not gonna stop buying them, because when I do clients, I would prefer to take my MAC palette, because if you're charging clients a nice amount of money to do their makeup, they are not gonna wanna see you rolling in with some drugstore products. I'm just saying. I mean, you can have a couple of items, you know, in and throughout your kit, but you do have to have, you know, high-end makeup. I mean, that's just how it is. So I will definitely continue to purchase the MAC concealer palettes, but on a daily basis, I will probably use these NYX palettes. And to be honest with you, I was almost out of a lot of colors in this palette, so I'm so happy that NYX came out with these, because I am very, very, very satisfied and very impressed. So enough of all that talking, because I know the time has been far spent, but you guys have been really waiting for this video, and I couldn't wait to get it to you. So these are the colors from the light contour palette, and I don't have the MAC palette that's in the light color, so we're just gonna swatch these all by themselves. But the one thing that I do like about this light palette, you guys, is that they do have a contour shade. So if you're fair skin and you wanted to highlight and contour, you can use one palette, and it's $12.99. This is my first time swatching this one, and that's what happened when I swatched it. So this one seems to be a little more creamy than the other ones. Like, look at that. See that? The other ones weren't as creamy as this one. So there's the light one. Now, before I do the comparison, one thing that I like about this medium palette is I feel that someone with a fair skin tone or a deep skin tone such as myself can get a nice amount of usage out of this palette. So I really like this one also. So here they are side by side. On my left is the NYX palette, and on my right is the MAC concealer palette. And that's medium deep for MAC and medium for NYX. Here are all the swatches of the medium palette by NYX, and next to these swatches, I'm going to do the MAC medium deep. I really struggled on these swatches because my MAC palette, some of the colors are almost gone. But here you go, let's get a little closer. So this side right here is the NYX concealer palette in medium, and then this side right here is the MAC medium deep palette. So the colors are very similar, and I mean, they're pretty close, you guys, pretty close. I wouldn't necessarily say that the NYX palettes are a dupe for the MAC palettes, only because the MAC concealers are a little creamier than the NYX concealers are. However, this is the closest that I have come to finding a dupe for this palette. So that's just my opinion on the palette. That's why I wanted to do a show and tell, and I wanted to talk about it. Now the next ones are the deep palettes. Now on my left is the NYX deep palette, and on my right is the dark palette by MAC. Here are my super crazy swatches. On this side right here, it is the NYX deep palette, and on this side right here, it is the MAC dark palette. So they both have similar colors, but some of the MAC colors tend to be a little bit deeper. So there are the swatches, side by side. There you go. Now, I guess the only complaint that I have about the NYX palette is look at this one right here. See how it's kind of like tacky a little bit? I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like when you rub your hands in it, it kind of gets stuck. Let me see if I can do it from this way. See that? See how it kind of comes off right here? That's just a little weird, but that's what I was telling you guys, like the MAC is a little bit creamier. As far as an under eye highlight, it works great. As far as my brows, it works great. When I put it on there, it's so like thick that it stays still. Now, if you don't prefer a thicker concealer and you do prefer like a more creamier concealer, then the MAC Pro palette will definitely be for you. But I definitely can like use them interchangeably. So that's it for my review and comparison of the NYX palettes versus the MAC palettes. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you are able to make a better decision now on if you want the NYX palettes or not. But I mean, like, it's totally C-Key approved. And if I had to say anything before I end this video, I would say go grab that palette before they're out of stock. Just saying. So that's it for this video, you guys. If you liked it, don't forget to thumbs up. So feel free to share this video because I don't mind at all. As a matter of fact, sharing is caring. So that's it, you guys. You guys have an awesome, blessed day, and I will see you sooner than you think. Bye.